This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We continue our series on preparing the kitchen for Pesach. We began yesterday. If anybody missed yesterday's teleconference, it's posted on TorahAnytime.com. Yesterday we spoke about a few important inyanim. We spoke about warming drawers. We spoke about the need to get a new urn. We spoke about the three methods of kashering. So we're going to continue today. A few people forwarded me from different chats the different things that I was quoted to have saying, which I did not. So please listen carefully again, just to make sure that you heard correctly. We're going to speak today about. We're going to begin with microwaves. Now, microwaves is a big controversy. Well, whether one can kasher a microwave for Pesach, especially in light of the fact that yesterday we mentioned that we are machmer like Rav Moshe not to kasher plastic. There are Eretz Yisrael Dika Poskim who say you could, but we're going to go like Rav Moshe that we don't kasher plastic. So that's an issue for a microwave. Most microwaves, the interior is plastic, but nevertheless, even though we basically maintain that not to kasher plastic, but a microwave we could be lenient, and the reason is because the food is not really being heated up by the interior of the microwave. In fact, the interior of a microwave may not even get hot at all, unless food splatters on it, but that's not the method of it cooking. It's basically cooked with electrowaves. Obviously, a microwave you can't use on Shabbos or Yom Tov anyway, but we're dealing with Chol Hamoed now. So, microwave, we will allow kashering a microwave for Pesach, and it will be kashered similar to many of the things that we're going to mention, and that is it's going to be cleaned out very well. You're going to wait 24 hours. You're going to take a cup of water or a bowl of water. You're going to fill it up to the top, and you're going to let it boil for an extended time until the whole chamber of the microwave fills up with steam and the water overflows. Now, there are a few issues here. One issue is if there's a glass plate. Glass, we said, cannot be kashered for Pesach, and therefore you remove the glass plate before kashering and put it away for Pesach. If the microwave has a porcelain enamel interior, then we're not going to be able to kasher it for Pesach. But again, most microwaves have either a plastic interior or a metal interior, so we'll allow kashering it. Again, you're going to clean it out. You're going to boil water for, let's say, 10-15 minutes until the whole microwave is full of, we'll say 10 minutes until the whole microwave is full with steam, and it boils over, and that will be a valid way to kasher. It's still considered ideal that if you're going to use your microwave on Pesach, to cover all the food in the microwave, and then you're basically good to go. So if you're going to kasher and you're going to cover, so that's a very proper way to go about doing it. If it's a convection microwave, you're going to use the same process, and you're going to want to make sure that the chamber and the fan assembly is extremely clean. Okay, so that is microwaves. Now we're moving on to one of the most important areas in the kitchen, and that is the sink. So a stainless steel sink or a Korean sink, you could kasher, and you're going to kasher it similar to a lot of things that we mentioned. You're going to clean it out very thoroughly. You're not going to use it for 24 hours. Then you're going to boil a kettle of water or a pot of water. And you're going to do the process of iroi. That means directly pouring the hot water onto the entire surface area of the sink. But understand, it has to be direct hit. It cannot be runoff. That means the kettle or the water, the water flow has to hit straight every area. You can't just have it hit one area or the side and let it spill over. It has to literally, the water has to hit each area. So that's not so easy. Many people have like a team come into their house. Now, here's the thing. A lot of the teams, especially this year, they're going to use steam. You should be aware that kashering with steam is very controversial. Many people quote the CRC as to saying that it's okay. I just spoke to them today. It is not okay. Rabbi Moshe did not allow it. The CRC does not allow it. I do believe the Star K does allow it. But it's a very controversial method. I personally don't endorse it. So if you're going to hire someone and they're going to come in with their steam machine, it's not really acceptable for sure l'chol hadeyos. not according to the CRC, not according to Moshe, and not according to my humble opinion. So for a sink, you're going to want to have them do Iroi. They may not want to do Iroi. Iroi is not so simple. It's not the safest thing, because again, you're going to have really hot boiling water, and it's going to want to hit each area. So some people put inserts into their sink. That would be okay, because you cannot put dishes into a sink that has not been kashered. Again, the most acceptable way is Iroi. You boil water and you pour it directly onto the sink. Here's the deal with the sink head. The sink head also needs Iroi. So you're going to pour water from a pot or a kettle directly onto the faucet. However, there are two parts of the sink that have a certain complication, and that is the strainer. The strainer has small parts to it. In other words, there are cracks and there are crevices and there are holes, and it's very hard to clean a strainer, to kasher a strainer. And therefore, you're going to want to have a new strainer for Pesach. The same thing goes for the aerator of the faucet. The aerator is nearly impossible to kasher because there's so many small parts. You're going to want to have a new aerator for Pesach, or just take it out and just have sort of the open sink head. And it might not be the most elegant looking sink, but it will be kosher. So there are two eitzos: are either, again, remove the aerator, or go online, find out what kind of sink you have, and order a new piece. That's what we did. We found out the type of aerator we use, and the new one comes the next day or 2 days later. So it's cheaper just to take it out. If you want to replace it, that's also good. Also replace the the strainer. So that's basically how the sink goes. Again, clean it out, wait 24 hours, do Iroi, pour hot water on every part of the sink, and the strainer and aerator are preferable to replace. Okay, now let's talk about countertops, your favorite subject. The subject that gets the most shilas, and it's a very easy area of the kitchen to deal with, in terms of just knowing how to kasher. Let's find it. Okay, so the countertops, basically, except for plastic, which we said we're not kashering in deference to a Moshe, or formica, which also we're not going to kasher. Ceramic we don't kasher, cement, glass we don't kasher, but almost all other materials could be kashered. Now let me tell you off the bat, even though you could kasher most countertops, the easiest thing is to cover it. You know, why make yourself crazy with a lot of hot water? You're putting yourself in a dangerous situation. Now, the ideal thing to do is kasher and cover. But this year, it's not so easy to do the ideal. So let's do one or the other this year. We're going to either cover, which is probably the easiest way to go. There are services. Somebody mentioned to me, you can have a hard plastic cover, a loose-side cover. You could have a team come down, they'll measure your kitchen, and they'll loose-side cover your whole kitchen. That's an expensive way. You could have, I think it's called corrugated cardboard. It's like a hard plastic, thick, a thick plastic. I think that's what we do. And you keep it from year to year, and it covers. And this way you don't have to bother with kashering, which is difficult and slightly dangerous. If you want to kasher, it's not that complicated. You're going to do Iroi. You're going to clean the counters. You're going to wait 24 hours, and you're going to pour hot water over every inch of the counter. Again, that's how to do it. Now let's just talk about materials for now. Natural stone you could kasher without a problem. What's natural stone? Granite, marble, limestone, quartzite, soapstone, slate, onyx. These are all man-made materials, and they could be kashered without a problem, regardless of the sealant. Now, man-made materials that are made to look like granite or marble could be kashered as long as there are no scratches or stains. So these man-made materials include quartz resin, and common brands are Cambria, Caesar stone, Scylla stone, Q stone, and Zodiac. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. These could be kashered for Pesach. Acrylic, polyester, they look like stone. The common brands are Avenite, Corian, Gibraltar, Hymax, Meganite, Staron, Sorel, and Swanstone. And these could be kashered provided they're not scratched or stained. If they're scratched and stained, just cover them. But again, glass, ceramic, cement, and porcelain, cannot be kashered. Stainless steel, if you have a stainless steel or a copper or zinc countertop, they're metal and they of course can be kashered. If your counters are made out of wood or butcher block, I don't know why that would be, unless you've taken up the occupation of being a butcher. With wood, we don't usually kasher unless you sand it down, and then they could be kashered. Okay, so we discussed today microwaves, sinks, and countertops, and hopefully, Be'ezus Hashem, tomorrow, we will move on to the oven. Okay, so we're making good progress. Hatzlacha, everybody, in your preps. And we're just going to end off by saying one kapitel Tehillim. Rabbi Hashem should send a refuah shalema to all the Chayei Yisrael. And to anyone in our shul who needs a refuah shalema, we're going to say kapitel Tzadi Aleph.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.